What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 15 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Fay Enchantress Old World Classic campaign. So as we saw last time, the broken axes lie completely broken at last, with the barrows of Quila reclaimed, and no more orcs there to threaten central Bretonnia. Bertrand the Brigand has effectively saved Aquitaine, Bastogne, actually like half of the dukedoms, single-handedly, as this was an absolute shambles until we took care of the broken axe for them. And of course, the northern portion of Bretonnia is still in absolute shambles, as the watchful eye of Lewin the Unca is not really doing too much for Lyonesse and Languille and Artois and whatnot, but it is what it is. We are moving some armies to help them out. But as for central Bretonnia, and when I say central Bretonnia, I mean everything sort of north of the River Brienne and south of the River Grismarie here. This is the stuff I think that we will be looking to confederate. How will we confederate? As I've been talking about it over the last couple of episodes, the Old World and SFO has an incompatibility where there are a bunch of confederation texts that are missing here, where we would, research confederation of Gisoro or whichever, or Aquitaine or Montfort, etc., etc., etc. And obviously we don't have that. So, like I said before, I decided to get a mod that will allow us to force the confederation. Another big reason, well, one of the other big reasons besides the sort of modded dukes that we want to play around with, not all of them. We don't need to collect all the Pokemon, especially since Lewin will have confederated. He will have confederated Languille, as we saw, and he has a legendary lord. And I imagine that he's confederated Lyonesse, though I don't know if they may have died beforehand. He also did confederate the Marches of Kuhan, but I don't know whether they have a lord of their own. What I'm saying is, he'll have some left to him, but for these guys, we will be confederating them. Partly because we don't want Lewin to then get them and then, continue this, and then so we can use those units, or heroes, or lords I should say, and then partly because the confederation texts actually do confer some buffs to your faction, so frankly we would have had those buffs by now, and a long time ago in some cases, and we've effectively been playing half the campaign without the additional buffs offered by the confederation dilemmas. Anyway, the first thing that we're going to do here in this particular episode is this. We will go to confederate, or force confederate. We are Bretonnia. And the force confederation we will start with is the Chevalier de Lyonesse. Because they are not on the map, but by confederating them, we will... give me a minute. Alright, The raiders besieged Caravans, marauded throughout the countryside. Oh, I wonder if there is a specific order in which we're supposed to do this. Well, I maybe should have checked what the order of the technologies is in, because this might tell a little story, but frankly, I'm too lazy to check what the supposed order is going to be. So, we're going to start with the Chevalier de Lyonesse, because this allows us to get Rapunzel on the field, even though she's not technically in Old World, so that's nice. And then we can send her down on a nice errantry into the Badlands and into northern Cameroon around the barrier idols. Anyway, let's give this a read. The raiders besieged Kuhan and marauded throughout the countryside, hacking down the great knights, bravely opposing them as they went. It was amid the smoking ruins of a small village in neighboring Lyonesse, left in their wake, that the miraculous rise of a humble shepherdess rekindled the broken spirits of Bretonnia's battered knights, coalescing them into the legendary war host known as Chevalier de Lyonesse. Now, funnily enough, for all the soft spot for the small folk, as it were, that the lady and the Fay Enchantress may profess to possess, the number of times that peasantry have been chosen by the lady can be counted on just a couple of fingers. So yeah, I'm not so sure about that. Not a lot of Grail Knights, and formally, it's not like they really let. Formally, it's not like they even really let Rapunzel get a claim to fame. Anyway, let's just see which one of these we want to get. Hero action cost is kind of irrelevant. Recruitment cost is nice, but not that big of a deal. Hero action cost for damsels. I gotta go with the speed for lords and embedded heroes. Yeah, alright, we'll do this. Third tribute. Alright, and this immediately lets us get Rapunzel on field, I would imagine. Yes, champion of the people. Starts at level 1, unfortunately. Oh well. And Henri Le Massif is here as well, and of course he will be moving with Repons. Now we gotta double check what their buffs are. So Champion of the People is just basic peasant buffs, meaning there isn't a specific type of unit that we necessarily have to use with Repons, or at least specific type of peasant unit. She's good against the undead, she has flaming attacks against the undead, melee attack for infantry. Okay. Armor piercing weapon damage +3 for infantry. Huh. That's interesting. I was thinking of doing a unit of maces, or a mace-heavy army, just because. Though they already have, obviously, a decent amount of armor piercing compared to the others, but this would increase it further. Yeah, and frankly, their melee attack isn't all that high at only 25. Maybe that's the way to go for a pawns. We have... Ooh... Construction cost. See, see, if I had done this at the start, we could have had Repons's construction cost -40 for all buildings in local region and used her to essentially power level the faction. But all good. And, Frenzy. Yeah, I like that. With the maces and the Frenzy, it would almost feel like a Volkmar the Grim army, wouldn't it? I'm just looking at what other peasantry we can include in the army, but anyway, we have upkeep production for non-knight units. It's kind of irrelevant because, with the exception of foot squires, all the other peasants are so dang cheap, it doesn't really matter. And yeah, okay, that's it for that. And Mr. Henri, you have Unbreakable. Do you have any buffs for any specific unit? You have Bannermen, give you weapon strength for basically all knightly units. Plus 20% for Repons, armor for Repons, that's all fine. And it looks like nothing else. So basically you have some buffs for knights, which we can use with Repons. Fair enough. Alrighty, now Repons yourself cannot move this turn. Oh, she can go into spread the word immediately. Yeah, it's going to be a bit until we get the... Alright, she spawned at Castle Carcassonne, but we've been recruiting stuff at Embern instead. Whoops. Anyway, let's swap into spread the word for now, just to get a little bit of extra cash, and then we'll pop you in to pick up a few troops. We could also give her battle pilgrims together with maces if we really wanted to. But I was going to give some battle pilgrims to some other armies, and it's not like we can't buff the battle pilgrims in other ways. Though admittedly the battle pilgrims are sort of our faction unit, as it were, and are going to be buffed significantly more than any of the other peasantry. Don't think about it. Anyway, that is for Repons. Next up, considering the fact that we've effectively saved Bordelot, and I really don't want Alberic to be confederated by Kuhan, we're gonna do Bordelot as well. After the destruction of the Broken Axe, I think it makes sense to reward ourselves with the confederation thereof, which we would have again researched via technology, but we'll do it this way. So this is going to take some admin, mind you, as they do have a fair bit of territory here. Where is Bordelot? Vegans. Oh, I'm blind. It's right there. Bordelot errant. Oh, not so errant yet, but don't worry. They'll work on it. Alrighty, this screws our income a little bit, but whatever. Duke Elberic's focus on discipline inspires the oft-inebriated Borderlands to march to war under one united Bretonnian banner. Income from all ports, construction costs for all buildings. Ooh. Battle and fighting at sea, or income from trade tariffs, So in the long term, this would probably generate more money for us, whereas in the short term, this would allow us to build more buildings, thereby generate more money by having every building built up. I think this is actually still stronger, because at the end of the day, it depends on how many turns the campaign takes, but the faster you build up all your buildings, the better. So yeah, we're gonna go first tribute. And province secured. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Only 4. Not as many as I thought. But Brigand is ours. And actually, that's a question. Which of the legendary lords do you have? Okay, so nobody's wounded. So you don't have any of the others. But, let's see, who do we have here? We have Alberic. Inez is ours. Do we have anybody else here? And hello, here we go. Bowmen Beast Slayer is here, good. And oh, you gotta be kidding me! He has a Beast Slayers of best stun. Oh, that is magnificent. That is absolutely magnificent because we already have a copy. So Bowmen will be able to lead 2 Beast Slayers. Oh, I love it. All right, this I am extremely happy about, I have to say. I really got spoiled by having 2 copies of the Regiments of Renown last time I played. Oh wow, you buff peasantry pretty well as well. And you're anti-large, so you're probably going to be either our polearm or spear guy, in combination with knights or whatever other units we want to throw in there. Plus 15 bonus versus large for spears and polearms. Yeah, that's what I was... yeah. That's what I'm talking about. And construction for stables and pastures is fine. I don't know whether we need all of this. Oh, actually, Worshippers of the Grail buffs the Beast Slayers of best stun, so you would need this. You'd probably have at least some knights and... yeah, but Guardians of the Lady, you probably wouldn't have any of those. So you still might warrant a reset, especially considering you do have a unique line in Beast Slayer. Actually, fairly considerable buffs. You have minus 40% upkeep production for Grail Knights. Fortunately, I'm not going to abuse that. Obviously, we could have an army just of Grail Knights, but that would be obnoxious and unnecessary. Yeah, some good stuff. I might actually keep him on foot with his Beast Slayers. I'm not entirely sure, but it might be the way to go. I know it's weird, or maybe just keep him on a horse nonetheless. He would look pretty neat on foot, though. Anyway, I'll think about it. Alrighty, so in addition to that, we have Hagen de Gissereau. Alright, and what do you have? The Fierce. We have upkeep production for all knights, but only 10%, so pretty minimal. And charge for knights. You have leadership for peasants, but it's plus 5, so it's irrelevant. More buffs for knights. And buffs for fighting the undead, a little bit of research, income from timber industry, who cares? It makes like 100 gold, whoop-de-doo. I get that it's for flavor, but yeah. Alright, it looks like you're gonna need a reset as well. Alright, fair enough. Oh. Are you gonna claim Sud here? Alright, you know what, let us see. Oh, we also got the Eldrick de Brigand. Oh, well, I was just looking at Brigand, so it does make sense. True Poet. Brigand being known for their poets makes sense. Upkeep production for Knights of the Roman Questing Knights. Ooh, Devastating Flanker. Hello. Well, I can't say I don't like that. That'll be a nice... recruit rank for peasant mobs. That'll be a nice sort of classic hammer and anvil situation. But other than that, I don't really see anything particular. Just a little bit of buffs for some specific knights. He doesn't actually buff peasant mobs for all the fact that he is... I do like the action success chance for all heroes, and you're gonna need a reset as well. Alrighty. Very well. And I don't know who Gaspard Lebeau is. Yes. He has the... He has the virtue of confidence, though, which is quite nice. Either way... Ooh, you had a potion of healing? Good. Alright. Free items. I like your color scheme, too. We are going to reset you, though, sir. Oh, I got some unique items, too. Bowmen's shield has... Removes charge defense versus large. Interesting. Bray de Bordelot is, well, Albric. Buffs on fighting at sea. Enemy leadership reduction. Oh, interesting. I was thinking about stacking some leadership reduction, so there's certainly a possibility of that. Though we already effectively have Albric's army built, though I would admit, or we're most likely going to have to reset him anyway. Alright, well, either way, this guy, we obviously aren't going to pay for you right now, sir. Do you want to transfer your... Okay, actually, the first thing that we want to do is move Bowmen up here to Sud, and occupy that before Montfort does. But funnily enough, we could just confederate Montfort, and yeah. Do we want to maybe wait for Aquitaine and Montfort and Caravans and whoever else is here? Colonize. Yeah, I wanted to make sure that we got the entire territory. Keep the Grail Shrine, build up the hamlet, and you know what, actually delete the Grail Shrine for now. We'll probably rebuild it later, but yeah, so we have Montfort and Caravans and Aquitaine. Those were the ones that I was talking about. Oh, actually, while we're here, Tourist Vigilance for Deravan Libre.
Welcome to the land of chivalry, where there is feast and wine aplenty.
Oh, for the love of... Okay, don't make me confederate you. Alright, delete the Weaving House, replace it with a military structure. I mean, most likely we'll confederate them anyway. Here we have a booze-craving friar, which is actually fine. Like I said, there's going to be some admin here, so we're going to have to take a look through some stuff. You guys have some peasant bows. You're going to need a reset anyway. Alright, and I'm going to undo your items. Huh, Twilight Banner. Ooh, hello. Oh, this is actually an interesting one. Huh. He's got his lance and his shield in the same hand? And nothing in his other hand? What is this? It's quite curious. I'd be interested to see what he looks like on field. But this guy, especially on his hippogriff, just looks absolutely fantastic from the images I've seen of the mod. Yeah, alright, gonna have to plan out some armies. Actually, with the amount of lords that we're about to get an influx of, most likely we have sufficient armies, wouldn't we? You have a Grail Relic, and you also have some items that we'll need to take from you. Alrighty, and what do you have? Oh, you have your helmet on your back. I can't quite tell what weapon you've got back there. But I suppose it doesn't matter over much anyway right now, because we're gonna have to reset anyway. So this guy... Okay, let's just give all of your stuff to him for now. Most likely we'll delete it to keep hold of some of the cash. And frankly, there's a decent likelihood that we delete it all. Anyway, you're gonna be reset, sir. And... oh, yes. Legendary Lord. Alrighty, and then you're gonna be reset as well. Alright, good. And just to double check, yes, they are here. Good. Alrighty, so those two. Maxime the Devoted, you were going to soothe, but that doesn't matter. Bowmen, you need to be reset as well. I guess the question is, do we want to keep the Questing Knights and Grail Knights? Decent likelihood that we do. We don't want to keep the Spearmen at Arms, though, because we want them ranked up higher. Yeah. There's nobody that can attack this. Well, I doubt that Montfort is going to attack us, so we'll delete this. And we'll re-recruit anything as needed. We'll keep the knightly units. And I guess this stuff can all go. I mean, I guess the 10 armor on the Grail really doesn't really matter all that. Huh, 62. Is their standard armor 60? Wait a moment.
What is your behest?
Huh. Wait, unless this is buffing you some way. Oh, you've got 12 armor from Worshippers of the Grail. I was wondering if you had the bonus armor from being constructed. Anyway, I guess Gaspard Le Beau, this is also in a similar position, so I think we're going to delete your stuff as well. And rebuild what needs to be done, but we have to figure out what kind of armies everybody wants. Yeah, alright, let's do that. And I also don't want to pay for it while we still have the construction buffs. Oh, Bretonnia has bonus control from Confederation. Yes. Isn't that lovely? Anyway, you are decent as well with the Virtue of Confidence, so we will reset you, sir. Lovely. Alright, so you're not needed there anymore. Bowmen, we are keeping you and we're going to give you an army, and frankly, we need to reset you as well, don't we? Alrighty, first of all, let's take your... Actually, the Razor Stamina is probably a good choice, because we just got 2 of them, so you can keep both of them. Your Beast Slayers will have additional buffs due to that. And yeah, you're gonna need to be reset. I guess we could deliver these troops and then reset him. It's not like he'll get his army in the next turn or so. Alright, next up the most important one, which is Alberic, who... Oh wow. These are high-ranked peasant bowmen with pox arrows. You know what, I think we'll keep those. The Grail Relic is not that high level. We have a paladin here who has the Virtue of Joust, which is nice virtue. Take out this and the Pit Fighter. We'll give those to somebody. Ocean Michaud. Appropriate name for somebody in the Bordelot faction. You have another paladin, Virtue of Stoicism. Okay, this one's terrible. And unless you have items, we will delete you. We don't need the... I need you wasting our time. This stuff... Oh, can you all not move? Okay, you can move, and... Oh, wow, you have a lot of stuff. Alright, and you have a paladin as well. Virtue of Discipline I don't really care for, and you're only level 6, so I don't think you're necessary, so we'll disband you as well. What about Angeline here? You have Among the Trees, which is actually a fairly nice trait to have, if only you were a higher level. Alright, and then both of you can move. Adrian, you're probably going to go over here. We will have to generate an army, but we'll maybe use these guys to take the Silent Isle real quick and then move southward to grab the army from Franciscus de Millau, and then, you know, help out fighting the rats. Alright, is that everything? Leon Lebel is ours. These guys are ours. We probably will want to confederate these guys later. Again, everything south of the River Grismarie to be ours. Actually, the only thing that will annoy me is that Wissignon here is part of the Gisaro territory. Oh, and we still have to do building. Alright, you know what? I don't want to think about the building right now, therefore we're gonna fight. Fay Enchantress. Do we need to level for this? I would imagine not, since we have Dwarven allies. So go to regular stance and attack Bilefitch. Alright, what do we have here? And... oh! Huh. I was expecting him to have a full stack in his territory, but he does not. Not that the bolt doors are probably going to be all that helpful anyway. Anyway. Yeah, let's take a little bit of a break from all that administrating and fight. Alrighty, here we go. We got a small pile of rats to deal with, but with the dwarfs coming in as a reinforcement, and considering the rarity of fighting with the dwarfs, especially with the possibility of war against them later in the campaign, we're going to let the dwarfs, out to play here. Not against this first little army, but against the sort of bigger stack. Now, this one we will destroy ourselves. And we'll start the day off by obliterating the enemy artillery pieces with our own artillery fire, while the two paladins head to knock out the enemy brood horror, and the Fay Enchantress moves in as well to soon, hopefully, help out and defeat the enemy lord. Alright, should be a quick little fight. Little sort of green color scheme that these guys have matches the Skaven corruption. More green is good. Especially if you're in work, but I guess also if you're a skater. Anyway, we also have Mr. Malrig moving in, and there's the Grail Knights. Haven't been participating so far, but, we gotta get these guys out of the picture a little bit quicker. It's mostly the Plague Claw Catapult that we want gone out of this first army, just so that it can't fire upon our main stack while we wait for the dwarfs to move in and try to do their thing as well. Anyway, it looks like a few more volleys from our own artillery takes out the enemy Plague Claw catapults. The reinforcements, theirs and ours alike, have arrived on the battlefield. And we'll knock out a few more rats, and then we'll be good to go to back off and allow the dwarfs to make their way forward. And, looks like Big Boy's still kicking, with about 20% of its HP. Not that it matters over much, as this first little army has now shattered. I did decide to originally move our piles of peasants forward, though perhaps that is an error in judgment to some degree, as the enemy Plague Claws, the newly arrived enemy Plague Claws, there are 3 new artillery pieces on the field now, are going to be in range very quickly at this rate. Granted, so are the Dwarfen artillery, but not really, because dwarfs are very slow, and it's going to take them a while to get here. And in that light, we're going to speed it up while we back off our main army. Like so, I was hoping to chase down the enemy lord as well. Bilefitch was our quest battle after all, or the Legion's outpost battle, whatever. Ally mission, that's the one. But it's just defeat him after all. Ooh. Game is stuttering a little bit. It has a tendency to do that when maxing speed against the Skaven. Just too many models on the battlefield for my PC to handle. Anyway, I'll slow back down to normal speed, as it looks like the first of the Dwarfen artillery have actually gotten into range. And they're gonna say, really? Wow. Oh, point blank shot of a ballista bolt right through a peasant. Well, that's life. Hey, at least it was just a peasant. At least he didn't shoot like, I don't know, like a scarecrow or something. That would have actually cost us. Anyway, the artillery fire begins. Our own artillery adding its own fire, and we can target actually more critical units than the AI will. So we'll be going after those death globes and poison wind globadiers. And, ooh, looks like the dwarfs are being fired upon as well, as the Plague Claw catapults and Warp Lightning cannons have sighted them. And the dwarfs are going to move through that choke point / pass. Which, fair enough. The enemy poison winds and death globes under our artillery fire are pretty much out, and the dwarfs have been by and large using all, 5, 8, whatever, a giant pile of bolt throwers to focus down that Hellpit abomination, still taking absolute ages to bring it down. Bolt throwers under the AI, which is obviously not going to be buffing them too much. But I think it's time to make our way forward. The Grail Guardians will charge through the poor rat ogres, and then start moving through the lines of rats. And it looks like at last, all of those ballistas will bring the Hell Pit Abomination down. Well, or not, it will heal up once again. Alright, fine. Well, we'll let the dwarves continue working on that thing while we take out the enemy artillery pieces and help them out. There we go. Down goes Big Boy. And that's pretty much all of that the bolt throwers will achieve in this particular battle, I would wager. Fay Enchantress is still here, though the dwarfs are perfectly happy to chuck a ton of blasting charges at their knightly allies, and this is why we're not sending too many of our peasantry forward, especially over on the right side of the battlefield, as the dwarfs would just explode them all. And while granted we wouldn't normally care all that much about exploding peasants, there is no need to take unnecessary losses. Perhaps we'll need them to explode for us at a later time, and on a good way. Anyway, the enemy and our allies have clashed. Those blasting charges working against those clan rats, and pretty well, I'd wager. Probably the AI is going to do more damage with the blasting charges more than anything else, while we deal with a few of the enemy critical units. The Fay Enchantress working with them all right to take down the enemy rat ogres, who are broken and running. The enemy artillery, having at this point been defeated by our Grail Knights and thus no longer a threat to the slow-moving dwarfen lines. And our two paladins, trapped by a bunch of different units, are trying to go after that Doom Wheel. But not a big deal. The first of our peasants have also arrived. We have kept the ones on this side sort of back, but ready to mosey on in if needed. While some of the Grail pilgrims and the Boil, I don't know why I found that funny. And the no, I'm not naming a unit of Grail battle pilgrims, Boil pilgrims. I forgot what I was talking about. Anyway, the rats are being overcome by the battle pilgrims here. Over on the left flank, and fairly easily at that, the dwarfs have crushed the enemy's center line, though they've actually damaged themselves with some of those blasting charges. Pretty trigger happy, I guess. And ooh, would you look at that? The bolt throwers have actually gotten in range and fired at the Doom Wheel while we kept it trapped in place. And hey. Hopefully it doesn't if they don't bring down any of the Grail Knights there. I mean, if any of the bolt throwers brought down a Grail Knight, we'd pretty much have to immediately declare war and kill them all, right? I think we can all agree on that one. I don't think that would stand. Anyway, pretty much the battle is ours, and only the unbreakable plague monks remain, quickly being battered aside by the by the swords of the Grail Guardians. I like how the Storm Vermin halberd is sort of stuck in the ground like that, pointing up. It's neat. Huh. Hey, did they always do that? Do they always die with their halberds pointing up like this, or is this... what the heck? I don't remember this doing that before. Maybe I haven't recently fought enough Storm Vermin with halberds. Not that it matters so much. Anyway, one last little charge. We're doing a little bit of fighting them, and just for fun with our swords, but it'll be quicker to charge on through, and thereby give the battle to us. Lovely. Alrighty, there we go. Unfortunately, a fair bit of the enemy did escape, but that's unsurprising since their reinforcements made it onto the map from, well, the other side of the map, and we did want to let the dwarfs do their thing to some degree. Which, well, actually, those miners with blasting charges were just as dangerous to our peasants as they were to the enemy clan rats and Skaven slaves, and I suppose I could draw some parallels between the two. Point is, we had to back off in several cases and allow the dwarfs to sort of bomb themselves as an addition to the rats and not us. But nonetheless, the decent work out of everybody, with, as usual, the Knights of Knee outperforming the other unit just by virtue of the fact of them having that banner of swiftness, which will remain as such for a little bit. 710 money. Yeah, we need all the money we can get right now, even if it doesn't seem like it. And the Grail Shield, well, isn't that lovely? A nice find. Court Jester, yes, we will need as many of these as possible. Once we... hey, there we go. Mission successful. We will need as many of those as possible in order to... you occupy this. The dwarf's still here? Yes. Occupy. And Clan Pester destroy. And was that the same Grail Shield, or did we get another one? I assume it was the same one. Province Scared Fester Shield, and we will go for Realm of Chivalry. I guess you can keep this Siege Workshop since it's already here and it's a tier 4 and it'll help the sort of adjacent provinces. The Royal Barracks of Valor are unnecessary. Apothecary, I'm going to say unnecessary as well. Keep the landed estate, and I'm going to say no to the tailors. Frankly, it's a single settlement with... frankly, I might even remove the landed estate. This is probably, by virtue of being a single settlement, good for capacities of various kinds, so that's probably what we'll have to build there. As far as I can tell. Also, what is... Oh, right, you're the Caravans. Ooh, I gotta remember not to declare war on the Iron Claw works before the Caravans make their way forward. Anyway, now that we've done that, we've got a little bit more work to do for the Demolish Building, Build Building, Build Building, and Demolish Building for the new provinces. Okay, so that's one. You go into Realm of Chivalry and keep the Pegasus series. What's our Paladin capacity, by the way, at? 6 out of 8, eh? Honestly, didn't rise all that much anyway. But all good. For now. Castle Bordelot, we get, oh wow, 4.8k to get the Bordelot wine market. We don't have the entire province anyway. I guess we'll build it in a few turns. We have 4 turns remaining of infrastructure. Who knows, maybe we'll be able to pick up the entire province before then. You can... Oh, that's a question. First of all, you don't need the Royal Barracks, and frankly, this probably not enough room in this particular province to keep the Royal Armor, to keep the Armory. Castle Bordelot, by virtue of having the Bordelot Harbor, should probably be one of our money-making territories, just like Miragliano here. Although I doubt that it's going to be able to match Miragliano, which is at 6.7k at this point, and it's not even tier 5. It's pretty darn solid. Alrighty, so that's Bordelot. We'll leave it as it is for now. Here, we have Bastogne. Basic walls, no need. This is not needed. We'll replace you with farms. Grail Shrine. We will need... No, we can't have that there because we need a Chapel of the Lady, pottery, and farm, meaning there's no room for it. Smithy. Yeah, I'm going to delete it for now. If we need to build it back later, we'll build it back, but I'd rather have the sort of growth and money-making stuff first. River Grismarie. Oh, there's a province. Yeah, anyway. You have the windmill coming in and everything else is fine. What about this place? Jusoro is looking pretty good. We'll upgrade the Grand Landed Estate and the water wheel. We don't need the tap room here. We will replace the Royal Barracks with another tap room there. We don't need the smithy and the minor settlement, but can keep the kilns. And I guess we can keep the Grail Chapel here for capacity purposes. Alright, that wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. In terms of having to do the admin. There is, I guess, still... Oh, you're part of Montfort, but... Again, Montfort is another confederatable technology thing, so we'll probably grab you shortly. I'd do it right now, but I feel like it would be too much admin all at once. I don't really care about these fortresses, generally speaking, except in certain cases, but this is not one of them, at least not right now, so I'm going to leave that alone. I notice we have this place, Erlach. I will possibly trade you to the Empire. Or even to the Continental Exarchate. Huh. Okay, this is kind of an interesting question. We will maybe fix their border gore a little bit, but, you know, later on. Alrighty, so that, I believe, is all the new provinces, unless I'm mistaken. Just to double check. Is there anything I forgot? I don't think so, but if I did, well, it's too late. Also, River Grismarie. You need to collect the income. You basically make no money right now, so we'll uncollect it. May as well grow a little bit better. And, oh. Keferkamaz. Right, you can collect income since you're... Yeah, you're pretty okay. These are giving us capacities. I was going to say get the Siege Workshop. Oh, I wasn't collecting money because it would grow better. I want to replace this with the Carved Obsidian, and this is helping build up the other stuff. Yeah, alright, fine. We'll just leave it alone and as it is right now, essentially. Alright, next up, we'll want to go to pick our tech, and I believe that was going to be the reduction of registered draft. Upkeep reduction for non-knight units. Global recruitment capacity, and 2 units of squires to new caravans. That's decent. Construction cost even more of reduction for our infrastructure buildings, which is similarly decent, but at least while we have the right going, our construction of those is free. Next up, Oh, I just want to double check something.
I have seen your heart.
So it looks like the AI did not, in fact,
Sorceress.
do anything to their armies. Alright, also, Alberic, do you need a reset? Oh yeah, you're gonna need a reset. What the heck is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, really? You certainly don't need peasant proficiency. And hello. Construction time for resource producing buildings, tradable resources is pretty nice. Coastal expansion, lots of construction cost reduction for ports. I like it. I like it a lot. And what do we have here? A champion of Manan. Man-at-Arms, campaign range, moving at sea, enables sea-based attacks on port settlements. Oh, so then maybe we should wait a couple of turns to reset you. And you have Glorious Charge for Knights of the Realm, and then buffs for Knights of the Realm, and Peasant Mobs, Men-at-Arms, and Spearmen-at-Arms. Oh! I thought you buffed Squires. Oh, I guess I'm misremembering what you actually do. Huh. I could have sworn that Alberic buffs Squires. Huh, I guess I was thinking of somebody else. We have an Aspiring Knights here. 8 melee attack and 12 weapon strength for Squires. More buffs for Knights of the Realm. Ooh, strong buffs overall. Yeah, this guy wants a lot of Knights of the Realm. We may then not get too much use out of the +5 melee defense for peasants. I mean, I guess we could just give him like a couple of peasant mobs or something like that, but I'd like an army where that is going to be more considerable. Yeah. And you have both of your quests, which is a bit unfortunate, because, oh, you have a banner of eternal flame. That's actually magnificent. We will definitely put that to good use. Probably not in your army, but I did want a fire-based army, and that will enable several units to be, well, fire-based. Alrighty, what do we have in terms of Knights of the Realm here? We have Questing Knights, which we can transfer to another army. We have 1 Knight of the Realm, and these guys are 1 level short of being upgraded. We could transfer them to Alberic. Hey, you know what? We'll keep Alberic on field for now. We'll use him to take the Silent Isle with these guys. We should get rid of the peasants, but keep the knights, essentially. Maybe not these peasants, because they're high rank. And we will want to get him foot squires, but from another army. And get rid of these regular peasant bows, I think, and the mounted yeomen are not necessary. This paladin was one with the virtue of duty. Oh, I don't like you either. Not great. Disband. I'd rather have the capacity because we're about to be able to get Sons of Bretonnia on field. Friar, I did like your booze cravings, and you have to be an Alberic's army. I mean, the fact that you have a Friar with booze cravings and it's border low, it's fantastic. I love it. Yeah, I believe that's it for now.
Prophetess.
Minus a few other units that we may delete, and then the same thing with the Bowmen, but I believe we're good. Alrighty, now, anybody else still need to move? A heck of a turn, but while we have confederations, happening, that's probably going to be the case. You, Renee, I was going to upgrade some of these units, and I think that's still going to be the case, as in Warband upgrade them. So I think we're going to use you to attack Zvorak after the caravans are done traveling, so we'll send you this way. And perhaps even for now, until we have an army for Gotrek and Felix to be in, maybe we'll put them in your army. Which will mean deleting some of these units as well. Actually, depending on which units... You're gonna need room for a couple more Knights of the Errant, because if... Or Knights of the Errant? Knights Errant, because, well... You're with the Defenders of the Fleur-de-Lis. I'm not sure that you're gonna need 2 Grail Relics, but we'll see. Alright, are these guys... Oh, right, they can't be upgraded to the Longbow Men-at-Arms because they're an SFO unit. And yes, I'm aware that there's an SFO Warband upgrade, but I don't know whether it'll function with the... with this. With the fact that we have the Brigand upgrades. Alright, that's too complicated. I don't want to... I'll probably think about this between the episodes. So let's put you here to Lakoros, and then we'll move this one with you for now. Go channeling, I guess. You guys can sort of travel together.
The lady is with you.
To get ready to attack Zvorak. And then you two, I think we'll leech briefly
My path is
from Malene du Tamer, who will probably attack Grung Ikri. At the same time, as soon as we declare war on the Iron Claw Works, keeping in mind that we will also be shortly declaring war on the Slaaneshi as well, but then these armies have to return to Embrun, where we are recruiting our troops. Actually, speaking of recruiting our troops, we did get the additional allegiance with... Huh? Oh no. Wait a moment. These used to be 33. Oh, we're not... we don't have close by... Because we don't have a border nearby. Huh. This is interesting. Okay, so we can't build anything there until we force all of our elven allies to declare war upon the Iron Claw Works, I think. I think that's how we do it. Get them to join, thereby reducing the cost of the allegiance. Or reducing the allegiance cost of the new units, which means, well, it means we have to move these guys relatively soon. So let's get to growing a Kree a little bit quicker than I had originally anticipated. You're gonna move this way. You guys are gonna follow.
I don't care for this order.
And we'll prepare to recruit when needed. Alrighty, anybody else need to move now? Inez and Verna. Also, I will forgo naming anybody this episode just because it's, you know, we've done a bunch of stuff. Ariela's Beaumont, you're waiting for recruitment, and... You're going to be our sort of ranged army. You have your brigands with great axes, you have one faceless which is cunning, I'd like another cunning faceless, but otherwise, you're going to want range units, and these brigands eventually to evolve. Frankly, you're probably free to move northward to Gien and occupy.
My magic is yours.
You don't need any more recruits from here, at least not at this time. Because most of the rest of your army will be range cav. We have the Wardens of Montfort. I did want to get another Sisters of Thorn, but we don't have the allegiance to get them right now. We will need Erimo Riders. We have the artillery, and these guys are going to be waylayers for a nice little trap for when the enemy is led towards the artillery by the range cav. So Riolas, you're going this way. You're going northward. Also to help King Lewin. And the rest of you, I believe, are good. Alright, so that was Riolas. Leonard is fine as he is because he needs to transfer units, and these guys are all recruiting. Alright, preparing for armies, and now we got a bunch of new legendary lords to prepare armies for, including Rapunzel and several others. Alrighty, Leonez indeed. Avril, okay, you're fine, you're fine. We still have the tech thieves, so I'm a little bit concerned about the costs.
Destroy it.
Well, we'll give it a try. All the Grad Rebels. All the Grad Rebels. I was Kislev. But yes, I do remember vaguely a Kislevite faction being here. So fair enough. As odd as this may seem, Matahari, we will move you towards, I guess, just keep bouncing between Durango and Valley of Windmills. And who else do we have? Thieving Damsel. Guess what you're doing?
What would you have of me?
I guess towards Grungnikri? Like so. Alright, now I do believe we're ready to end the turn. And then I guess next turn we'll confederate another little minor Bretonnian faction as well. Which I guess we'll keep doing because their technologies... Oh, should I just stop researching other technologies so it's fairer? Or you know what, maybe we'll research technologies inefficiently. As in, we will take the 2 turns to research the next technology rather than the 1 turn by sort of jumping between these. I think that'll make up for it. On the other hand, doesn't the fact that we never got to use those techs that would give us construction cost reductions and other buffs throughout the entire campaign also kind of make up for it? Eh. Alrighty, anyway, I believe that's an end turn. So unassigned skill points, commandment available. Oh, Fortberg Bray. You're going to go into Realm of Chivalry, if nothing else, to give the additional... Apparently I forgot Mousillon. Okay, well, I'm glad I went here. Well, okay, I'm glad I clicked that. Delete the tap room, and that's all we have to do. At least it's easy. There's an ancient elven colony at Martel. These guys have taken Portsall. I wonder, can you... I was wondering how much Portsall would cost, or would it be worth if we were to occupy Martel. Would we immediately be able to get these guys to sell Portsall to us? I don't necessarily care if Sigmarsheim occupies Old Mousillon. I do somewhat care if they occupy Lyonesse, though. I would rather Lewin have it. Well, although now that we have Raponce, I don't know.
Humility and honor.
I'm almost tempted to send one of these guys this way just to quickly occupy Martel if we can. You know
Your
what?
coming was foretold.
I think it's you.
Fortune
Alright, here's what we'll do.
favors
You,
Spellcaster.
lose the Trickster Shard. Give all of your
I've
troops
seen
to
you.
Alberic. Like so. And then move northward. Wait, do you have any? You do not have any. Alright, go this way.
The
Go to
lady
Martel,
wills
quick as you
it.
can. Alrighty, and then
I
you
see
will
much.
go briefly into Spread
It
the
shall
Wastelands,
come to
getting us a
pass.
little bit of extra cash. Alrighty, now we can end the turn. Outpost available, and I don't think any of those matters. Still very salty about this. They're gonna have to pay. Anyway, end turn. Let's hope that I didn't forget anything significant. And there's always bound to be at least some slight confusion when these big
I serve
confederation
the Lady of
happen,
the
but
Lake.
it's better to do as much of it as possible in one episode so we don't have to redo it. Trade agreement with Teclis. Sure, Teclis, why not?
No evildoer may receive
Look here,
the blessing
Felhard.
of-
Okay, this was fully expected. I don't know whether we want to ask anybody for help with this. The main issue with doing this is that it will expose other factions to his attacks, A, and it will also start forcing the Wood Elves to go this way. And I don't really want that. I'm much happier with being able to fight him. The main concern is this. If there are Black Arcs here, they will sail by to the Gulf of Pearls, which is our main money-generating territory. I was going to get the Fay Enchantress to return here, but I was also thinking we might need her to help against the Ironclaw orcs. Again, we are recruiting many armies, but we need a little bit of time to get those up and running, logistics and all that. Alright, I'm going to say don't call allies to help, and we will see. Hopefully it'll be okay. We'll see where his armies start showing up, just got to be careful. And I suppose as we confederate, make more enemies and all that, bigger borders, things getting interesting. Oh wow, that was only the start of the end turn. Vissenland and Nullen and Reichland always take forever because they're such massive territories, which is interesting because in this particular campaign, Kislev, well, the Kislevite territories are also fairly big, but they don't take nearly as long. Wonder why that is. And aha, Wintertooth will attack the Ice Guard. Yeah, sure, that's fine. Wintertooth is too far for us to be really concerned with, at the very least, until we send a nice errantry their way. Actually, I'd really like to send a nice errantry towards the Dark Elves to get those two errantry quests completed, but I fear that we wouldn't be able to get them to them in time. And I also wanted to use Mr. Bertrand to recruit some stuff for a couple of the other armies, since he has a recruitment reduction for the Brigand units. And this is a decent time to do it, since we have a couple more Brigand-centric armies on the way that are going to function a little bit differently than his. Anyway, what do we have here? Caravan, you get a hunter? Well, I like that. I like that a lot. He can lead the ogres. As the caravan comes to a halt for the night, a stranger wanders into the ad hoc camp. Stopped by the guards, he begs an audience with the caravan master. His offer is to join the retinue for no pay. There is safety in numbers, but he will help protect the caravan. Honestly, none of that sounds like what an ogre would say, but let me eat some of your peasants, and I will make you not be eaten by me. This is much more the ogre way to negotiate. Maybe you'll be of some use, sure. Ally begins outpost construction. That's all great. Where do we get the money? Izmir did our money jump up? Interesting. We're heard of the one Cult of Soteg destroyed. Oh, we were then never going to reach them in time because... Yeah, oh well. A bit of a shame. We'll see if any of the other lizards are alive, but I also really didn't want to compete for territory with them. The main unfortunate aspect of this is that now these guys are at war with nobody, which means next turn... Oh, actually, they're at war with the Schmitz Renegades, but they'll be at war with us. So we gotta be prepared. Somebody sing the song. Anyway, ally begins outpost construction. Ally begins outpost construction. That's... oh, because we got new capitals. Makes sense. Jolene got the raider trait. That's fine. Upkeep production for non-knight units helps. Caravan completed. Oh. Well, it's some source of the money. We had, what, 10, 15k, plus we got another 10k, so we should be at 25 plus. Then we got another 5 from this, so we should be at 30 plus. Where the other somewhat money came from. And, hey, Iron Drakes. Very, very nice. Hello, Master Rune of Valea. Huh. Spell resistance and perfect vigor. I guess we'll put this on, well, an infantry unit, I guess. We already have perfect vigor. Actually, do we have perfect vigor in our Grail Knights? We'll see. I don't think they're too afraid of the spell resistance stuff. I want to double check that this ancillary didn't go to one of the heroes. Minus 40% recruitment cost and where? Ah, the Great Mills? Useless. Alright, well that's unfortunate. Alright, next up, like I said, since we're doing the Confederation, maybe I'll do some techs inefficiently, so we'll immediately take one of these. And I'm going to say we'll do commissioned carpenters into professional fletchers. Ugh, 4 turns. There's also this. Oh, I do like the recruitment +4 for Sons of Bretonnia. Ooh, actually, speaking of Sons of Bretonnia, we should have our first available here in Farignac. I want to see. We have the Virtue of Noble Disdain and the Virtue of Knightly Temper. Damn it, I don't like either one of those. It's gonna bother me slightly. This will certainly make you very fighty, if nothing else. I'd really prefer you to have an aura, though. 2.8k to recruit one of these guys, huh? Although, honestly, the 25% increase is not really all that much. Though unyielding assault isn't too bad. These guys actually have very high melee attack compared to their defense, probably meaning that we would want this. I don't want to waste the money getting one if we're not going to use one, though. You know what I mean? Enabled if... Oh, but it's only enabled if hit points less than 50%, which is only like... Probably not a lot of the time. You know, I'll just go the Knightly Temper one. I want to see what you guys can actually do in terms of any unique buffs that you have for units. Honor is all... Hello. But it's only for you. I saw the imbuement of flaming attacks, but that will be nice for the army. Blade shield, because you got the basic sort of casting. Kind of like a lore master. Oh, I do like Retinue Valet. That's always nice to have, but these guys don't seem to have any particular buffs. Alrighty. And you do have a Barded Warhorse. Actually, maybe we send a couple of you with the Knightly Force rather than Damsels. With Leon the Bell here and the Knights of the Lionhearted. I kind of like that. You know what? Let's do that. Also, you are going to go... What's the fastest way to go up here? Just travel whichever way you can. You know, end the turn in our territory just in case we can travel further in ours than, you know, the allies. Alright, you're gonna go up to GM. Then... You done goofed, sir. You done goofed. You about to die. But we'll deal with you in a second. Just wanna see what's going on up here. This guy's gonna repair Port Cell? Not so far. Oh, these guys will also probably declare war on us. Are you moving to fight Bretonnia? Oh! Or Kuhan, rather? I think you'll win against 2... oh, that's not a good army. Okay, we'll see. Luan, you've already lost all of this. Don't lose this, too. Why did you confederate other factions if you were going to... if you're going to lose everything? Anyway, I would like to send La Tech Thief to Alcazaro, and to send Jean de Yoink up to Potis. I want to see if there are armies here. Alright, I see Corporal at Alcazaro. The unfortunate thing is we won't be able to tell if he can move that far. We should probably still take Azwara, though. Alright, fine. Go and attack this. You should be able to auto-resolve it just fine, and then you're probably gonna have to book it back towards Durango, because these guys will probably move to attack us. Auto-resolve this. A little bit of damage, but that's fine. Occupy. And then go into uncollect income, delete this, and replace it with a defensive structure. Another court gesture, and hey, we got the hippogriff, good. Oh, I wanted to check if that Master Rune of Valea would be... it's an ancillary, right? Yes, okay, so it did not be given to that caravan. Actually, speaking of the caravans, by virtue of the completion of this caravan, who now has Imperial, Dwarfen, Kislevite, and Bretonnian units, that's nice. I like that. If only I remembered where you had just gone. He went to Karazakarak, not Barakvar, right? I think. Well, I guess we'll send the next guy to... Well, actually, no. You're supposed to travel to Wood Elven territories. For obvious reasons. Alright, and you have the one... You're the one that has no buff, right? Yeah, increase encounters when in high elf lands. I guess in theory, if you travel this way, you will briefly pass through Caravans, which is technically high elf territory, but I'd like you to end in wood elf territory, so we're going to send you to Kingsglade. Probably not through Morgar's territory, though. Like so. And hopefully that will let you not be dead. But we'll see. You're gonna have to risk it, sir. And Kingsglade gives us twice as much as Waterfall Palace, even though you've been there before, so dispatch. Alright. Okay, I assume that we started there, which is why the game decided to zoom in on it. Now, the Fay Enchantress is not able to reach anything in this particular turn, therefore she will want to travel outside of the territory. Actually, do we want to build anything before we leave, just in case? Probably we do. We will most likely need the tap room. Actually, will we need a tap room here? Maybe. No, build it anyway, and then we'll see. I don't think we'll need either of those, but we will most likely need capacities, which is the Grail Shrine, as well as... Well, frankly, we should probably use the Shrine of the Lady for the adjacency bonuses. Assuming that all this territory becomes ours in short order. Assuming this guy doesn't take this territory. Will he go to Black Venom? I guess we're gonna find out. Alrighty, so now the Fay Enchantress can move. And southward you go. Alright, then let's use Elberic to quickly wipe these guys out. With whatever units he has. Ooh, especially before Aquitaine grabs this territory. Alrighty, so... Alberic, first of all, I would like you to trade troops with Angeline Berenger.
Chivalry is all.
Yeah, chivalry is all. I mean, I guess we'll use the Foot Squires for now. You can keep the Grail Relique. The Peasant Bowmen aren't staying in your army, so maybe we just use basic or just other bowmen for now and then transfer them out later. Yeah, this is good enough for now, I think. Not much of a melee line, but we don't really need it because we have so many knights. Alrighty, and... Oh, you have no caster. Alright, we'll probably have to get one of those as well. Speaking of... Actually, wait. I am now realizing that we got some construction that we can do here. Huh? Oh, we already built it. Okay, I was just like, wait a second, where shrine am I at? And this is not constructed. Okie dokie, we will... Actually, is this one of the places where we don't need the tap room? I don't know, but it is going to be a money-making territory, so we will have to build this stuff, and I will consider, let's say, the tap room. It's also upgrade Raysol. Alright, then, you are at war with... Just Aquitaine? Alright, Aquitaine, give us some money.
Protector of Bretonnia greets you, friend.
Join war against Mousillon. Yeah, sure. 1,000 gold, better than nothing. We're about to confederate you anyway. Or Montfort, whichever. Alright, and then we'll do this little fight with Alberic, just to see him on field, because he's going to be reset and stuff for a bit.
Vanquisher of evil.
Yep. And you can carry this, one of you can carry this, and I don't like Gleaming Pendant because it doesn't really do anything useful, but hey, you know what, it's a little tiny leadership aura, let's put it on the Grail Relique to provide a little tiny bit of leadership. Yep.
That which threatens, we will destroy, for our holy wrath hath no bounds.
Alrighty, here we go. Alberic de Bordelot and Tempet on the field, and, well, they've got pretty darn solid stats. 120 melee attack, 74 melee defense, and nearly 800 weapon strength, solid armor, very strong capabilities all around. Ooh, I like the... like all the sort of metal work on the barding for the hippogriff there, and on the helmet as well. Very nice indeed. Though you would think that, I don't know, it feels like leaving the chest completely unarmored seems like a bad idea. I feel like if you're going to take a lance, an enemy lance, or a halberd or a spear or whatever, you're probably taking it to the chest here, no? Am I crazy? But anyway, I digress. Well, at the same time, I suppose the hippogriff will want to be able to actually, move its claws to, claw jerks, as one does. Anyway, for obvious reasons, we're going to touch down with the hippogriff and start tearing the enemy lord to shreds. All the while, our knights start closing the distance. The Knights of the Realm and the Knights Errant facing off against the enemy piles of Black Knights. With that gaudy yellow color scheme of theirs. And the Knights of the Realm, especially with Alberic's buffs, should be able to take care of them reasonably quickly with all that anti-large, and at the same time the Knights Errant will hopefully use this to level up. In the meantime, the tougher portion of the battle is over on the left side of the left flank, where the Grail or the Questing Knights have closed the distance with the Cairn Wraiths. However, with no magical damage to call their own, the Cairn Wraiths will trade very, very well against the Questing Knights, especially within the trees in this manner. So we're going to get 2 of the units of Questing Knights out and help with the main line, where the piles of skeletons and graveguard and ghouls and whatnot have crashed into our foot squires. And the 2 will whack away at each other until the battle is over, I suspect. There we go. Oh, I thought for a second that it was a completely white banner, and I was like, maybe not time for the white flag yet. But I think we're looking pretty okay with the balance power at 90% or so in our favor. The enemy lord did run away from Alberic, but Alberic has caught up and has got the enemy lord down to 5 or 10% of his HP. 2 more hits, and down he goes. Lovely. Also, before I forget, for those wondering about the double episode thing, on the one hand, unfortunately, we did not reach the engagement threshold with regards to the likes, but I do believe we went over with the comments, so I think that's good enough for a double episode. Plus, I would feel bad without doing a double episode with all of the admin that we had to do in this particular episode, and just due to all of the well, the time that it took to get everything in order from the sort of mishandling by the AI of everything. But anyway, so stay tuned for that later is what I'm getting. What I'm saying. Anyway, now the battle is obviously over, which is why I've been feeling free to rant about other stuff. And just a matter of waiting for the corpse skirts to melt away, and there we are. Nice little debut for Alberic, and actually fairly close to what his final army will look like, because he wants Knights of the Realm and those squires. So yeah, just gotta transfer them from the other army that we currently have just to the south. Anyway. Alrighty, there we go. Unsurprisingly, no problem, but I wanted to get Alberic and Tempet on field as fast as possible. He's looking pretty good, and we expect great things from him once he has his proper army. And ooh, all of his questing knights upgraded to Knights of the Realm, or leveled up enough to be Knight of the Realm. Yes. Anyway, go for ransom captives. I fear that you won't have enough movement range to potion. Nice, fine. To immediately reach the silent tile, so we'll have to wait. I'm just gonna have to. Oh, these guys can't use our port. They can only use torpedoes, which is not gonna be so helpful to them. Now we'll do Alberic. I could go right here. I want you to be in range of Sloppy Crookshank. That's what I want. In case Sloppy wants to fight next turn. I would also like these 3... Oh, wait, no, that was the questing knights that upgraded, not these guys. Not ready yet to be realmified. Fair enough. Though, funnily enough, Knights of the Realm are one of the knights I feel like could benefit from the additional 10 armor, at least a little bit more. Obviously. It's also not a big enough deal. They're strong. They don't really need it, and... I like the fact that these were originally built by this faction, so leave it as it is. Also, the questing knights can then be transferred. Oh yeah, I guess since this guy has some questing knight buffs, we'll give it to him, though at the same time, the Lord of the Brigand faction, I think, had some buffs for questing knights in particular, so maybe we will transfer that to him. And I have to give that some thought. What else do we have this turn? Ah, yes, alright, so I did say I wanted another confederation, and I think with these guys being the obvious choice, partly because we have some border gore with them, and partly because they're right beside us, and partly because we have effectively joined their war, and so we will complete their war, which they could not do themselves, let's say that. Alright, so this is Akutan. Now let's go for Confederation of Akutan. And like I said, I'm going to limit this to 1 Confederation per turn, just because it would take 1 turn to research any of the Confederation technologies. So, Bretonnia and Ekaten. Like so. And also, I don't want to overdo the admin. Oh, wow, that dropped our money by 4,000 gold per turn. All right, what is this? Construction cost -2 for ports, in combination a little bit with Bordelais. Defensive supplies plus 400, construction time, and campaign line of sight. I don't care about this all that much. I'm going to say most likely the construction time reduction is probably the most useful for the capital settlements, because we have a lot more of those than we do have ports. Not that this is bad, mind you. And the 400 defensive supplies is nice, but it's really not that much. The campaign line of sight is actually fairly fine as well. I'm going to say this. Fairest land in the world. The grain is plentiful, traveling is easy, and monsters are rare. Who would choose to live anywhere else? Yeah, sure. Everybody would choose to live in Bretonnia. Okay. It's true. Let's see. Ally loses outpost. Sorry, Akaten. You will have... Wait, this is Brigand, where we were... Wait. Am I clicking into Brigand? Oh, this is what I wanted. Oh, they have the armory. They have the Pegasus Eyrie. Funnily enough, maybe we should just convert you via Valor to the Royal Menagerie. You don't need the Royal Barracks in this territory, but we can build one in one of these territories as well. That said, we gotta get rid of the Apothecary and the Grail Shrine in this particular these structures, areas, whatever, because... Actually, it's a 4-territory province. We could also make it a moneymaker. And frankly, we probably should. I'm just saying that we have the armory here, so we can in addition to that, use it as a troop generator. And we do need more of those. And we'll probably need a few more of these sacred pools as well. And we'll definitely need the more Arimo hideouts. All right, let's start with the Arimo hideouts, because otherwise, how are we going to get more faceless heroes? Frankly, every single location is probably going to need one, because it's the only way to get capacities for those guys. It is what it is. Things tend to be what they are. Anyway, you go this way. You won't quite reach Martel this turn, but you'll be able to get next time. And it looks like Claude here has failed to retake Castle Artois from the Beastmen, or at the very least, he sacked them without destroying them, which is also a distinct possibility, knowing how the AI operates. Alrighty, so that's good. Wait, we will have gotten Akaten's armies.
What is your behest?
I assume you're one of them, and do you have any items on you? You do not.
Yours.
Goodbye. Do we need you reset? Yes we do. And I'm hoping I reset the other legendary lords and not disbanded them. I think so. Alright, then, these are the 2 new ones that we've got. You and... Wow, that is a big banner, buddy. That's a very big banner, Armand. Who are you? Champion of the Lady. Knights Errant and Knights of the Realm, immunity to psychology. Don't they already... I think they naturally have that. In SFO, at any rate. Knights Errant, they have Impetuous, which gives them immune to psychology when charging. So this is essentially a permanent variant of it. Fair enough. What else do we have here? Devoted, that's fine. You have Worshippers of the Grail and Lowborn Militia. Can we actually put that to any use? You are a duelist. Character Aura Leadership Effect, Corruption Reduction, Tournament Champion, and Duke of Akaten gives you income from Grapevines, Chivalry for victory against vampires, but otherwise, you have no particular buffs other than those for the Knights Errant and Knights of the Realm, meaning those are the guys that we will want to put into your army, eh? Well, I was gonna make... Because we're already doing Knights of the Realm for Alberic, so Knights Errant Heavy will probably be you, then. I was actually going to keep the Defenders of the Fleur-de-Lis in that other army, but I guess you're the way to do it, then. Alright, fair enough. Fair enough. And I believe the rest of this is still warrants a reset, because most likely... Yeah, we're probably gonna have to reset you. Alrighty, what about you? Okay, any of the troops that we want to keep here. Not any of these guys, because they need... Oh, well, there's a paladin, let's see. I do not like this, and you're only rank 7, meaning we can replace you with a better one.
He who serves best.
Alrighty. I don't think we need the mounted yeoman. At least not here. And honestly, I don't think we need any of this. Again, I'm not willing to pay for this over the type of army that we want to build. Although, we probably want to at least generate an army out of these guys. At least a full stack out of these guys. You know what? Here's what we'll do. You can go to spread the word. We will take all the stuff from Eleanor. I will figure out what I want to delete and what I don't want to delete between the episodes, and then you can give stuff to Eleanor. Like so. And we can reset you.
Eternal devotion.
Damage resistance and immunity to contact effects in a small area. Look at this banner. Is this a bug or is it supposed to be that big? Maybe it looks normal when he's on a horse and not on foot. you can't even see his face. Alright, anyway, I reset all skill points. It is amusing though. Yes. Alright, that's you. Alright, so who do we have left down here? Caravans and Montfort? Or did they die? No, they're still alive with one territory. Alright, well. And they do have Folcar de Montfort, and I don't imagine that they do have a Bowmen at home, but I don't think that they have any other legendary lords. Oh, Cassillon de Caravans. Wait, no, that's Caravans, not Montfort. Yeah. Alright, fair enough. Fair enough. And we do have the Green Knight available again, but we need to make sure we get him on field for when we're fighting a lot, not traveling. We could do some fighting against the Greenskins with the Fay Enchantress, but it would mean leaving the Accursed troop here, and this is really where the danger is right now. We could forgo his summoning until we've traveled over here, but it's gonna take a bit. Alright, let's move everybody else around and then figure it out. You guys, okay, so I need you to do some specific stuff. We're going to use Bertrand to recruit some stuff next turn, so Bertrand, I'm going to have you go into Jean, right here, and you'll recruit some stuff for Aeolas. It'll only take a turn or two. And then he'll be able to essentially move immediately. Although he will want... actually, what we could do is transfer the Brigand Raiders to him, because they can be upgraded to Arimov fairly soon, or Arimov Chasseur, which is what I was going to put into that army, which would allow Riolas to essentially start moving immediately without us having to worry about, you know, them sitting here for too long. I like that. What else do we have? Ooh, 7.5k per turn. Renee. Yeah, okay, you sit there for now. Malene de Tremere, you will proceed towards Grung-Ikri, stay in our own territory for one more turn, but get ready to attack them. Inez Alvan, you are who? Oh, right, you're fine. And, oh, right, we've got our new Sons of Bretonnia. I'd like to keep taking a look at these. Another Virtue of Disdain. Alrighty, Gautier d'Aquitaine. You cannot move this turn, okay. You're supposed to join Leon, who is also supposed to get the Knights of the Lionhearted, who we will get at the edge of our territory, which is now pretty big, thanks to all that. But this is pretty much the upper limit of what I want it to be, because I want to be able to reclaim this for Kuhan, Marches, Blangy, and Lianez. I think this all makes sense. And then there's this stuff, of course. You know what? I might just confederate these two immediately. Actually, if we wait one turn, these guys will complete the complete some expensive stuff here, so we could wait the turn. Montfort only has the one settlement. I just figure that I could do the little, you know, administrative aspect of this between the turns, but at the same time, these guys don't really have that much, it doesn't really matter. Or between the episodes, rather. Let's see what else we have. Luan, you are supposed to travel with Renee. You guys are in range of Zvorak, so you're fine. So you're just going to sit here for a turn until we're ready to attack them. Which is not now.
The lady is with you.
Verna's fine. I keep remember. Oh, you're these guys. All right, so you go here. Follow Melanie for now. Then get ready to move here. And how are our... Since we can pump out troops out of Castle Aquitaine as well, we should get ready to transfer some of these troops here. Maybe even get some of the legendary units here. You know what? Keep the Royal Barracks here for now. We'll delete it later, but for now, if we're going to use this as a second recruitment hub, at least for now, thanks to the presence of the armory, and we should, well, we should put it to use. Actually, because Castle Aquitaine has those, does that mean these guys had the bonus armor? Yeah. The ones in this army had some of the bonus armor applied. Not all of them, but some of them do, assuming this isn't a trait. Which it is. Okay, this is another thing I'll need to try to keep track of between the episodes, because then those units can be maintained rather than rebuilt. And considering how low armored the peasants are, they're the ones that definitely need that. Anyway, you are waiting for an angry mob of battle pilgrims, right? Yes. Let's put you into raiding Huh? Oh, you're already in raiding stats. My bad. You take the angry battle pilgrims. Alright, like this. And I think we need 9. Alright, you are 1 short. And this friar is fleet-footed. Actually, funnily enough, he doesn't... Well...
Your coming was foretold.
How many... What's our friar capacity? It's actually pretty good. Ooh, disciplined, eh? Huh. Let me go for several disciplined friars in this particular army. Because if we do... I wanted to... We don't need immunity to psychology. Now, I'm gonna get both boost crazing, and discipled on the field, disciplined rather, and I might keep those. Don't care for either of you, but I'm not gonna waste money milling you. And we need to double check what we've got here. Shrouded Mist is okay. Visitor of the Lady, empathic rather, and favored by the Lady. These are always nice. And gotta love the increase in range, so we'll do this.
Damsel,
You cost 3,000 to recruit now? Wow, okay, we gotta be careful about over-recruiting the damsels. Good lord, our money has dropped a considerable amount. Yeah, you know what? Here's what I'll do. I am going to do another confederation of just Montfort because it's a smaller faction. We will save Caravans for next time. Like so. And we'll grab Montfort, like so. And we'll take a quick look at the Lord after the Confederation. Oh, Montfort doesn't have a dilemma. Interesting. Wonder why. Okay, maybe it's, but it does have a legendary Lord, does it not? Yes, it does. What are you? Loved by the people. Hello, melee defense. Oh, I like this. Access to different weapon choices instead of traditional Bretonnian mounts. Oh, and he's a foot lord too. With different weapon choices. Oh, I'm gonna like this very much. So you like fighting greenskins, which unfortunately I'm not so sure that you're gonna get a lot of mileage out of. But beloved by or loved by the people means you can be a little bit more peasant heavy. Maybe this is one of the knights that will have a... Yeah, you know what? I know what we'll do for you. We will combine you with brigands. He's loved by the people, after all. He cares about peasant villages, so if Bertrand's brigands at least are supposed to go after corrupt lords, it feels like it makes sense that they'd be willing to work with this fella. Go with that. Also, does Montfort have the... It does have the armory. So yeah, I will deal with this between the episodes because there's some units that we will need to delete, and there are some, some that we need to check as to which we keep, which we don't, etc., etc., etc. So, in that light, I know it was a little bit of a of an admin-heavy episode, but I'm going to call this episode here. And then we'll come back later today, since it's a double episode day, and then do that second episode with some of this done, as we prepare to launch errantries in every direction and reclaim everything north of the River Grismarie, plus the fight with these 3 fairly major factions, and decent likelihood that both parts of Sartosa and Ironclaw Orcs will be fighting us as well, so will be war on pretty much all fronts. And frankly, the likelihood of the dwarfs attacking us at any moment remains at, well, any moment, so there is that to consider as well. Anyway, stay tuned for more Fay Enchantress. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below. We won't do as much admin next episode, I promise. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.